You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
All right, guys and gals, we're going to talk about the U.S. women's national team. We're going to talk about Carli Lloyd and Megan Rapinoe. Carli Lloyd went on a CBS Sports podcast and took some real fire for the decision she had in no longer kneeling during the National Anthem. Now, Hope Solo, a former member of that squad, came out and said that Megan Rapinoe had bullied players into kneeling for the anthem and making them feel like shit, for a lack of a better way of putting it, if they did not want to kneel, and she was pressuring players to do so. Carli Lloyd comes out and says, hey, this is why I decided not to do it anymore during the Tokyo Olympics, and the fact that Megan Rapinoe was absolutely a distraction with her kneeling and her social justice and her virtue signaling. She was distracting that U.S. women's national team that, by the way, ended up with only a bronze medal. Now, we saw Carli Lloyd was very critical, along with Alexi Lalas, of this year's World Cup team that was very underachieving in what it was they were doing on the field. She called them out for essentially celebrating a draw against a much lesser team. We also witnessed that team continue to disrespect the United States of America with how they handled the national anthem by not placing their hands over their hearts or singing the song. There were 3 or 4 players that did, but the majority of the squad didn't. And we saw country after country after country embarrass them for how patriotic they were towards their country. So let's get to this. Carli Lloyd came out, made these comments. Former U.S. women's national team forward Carli Lloyd continues to answer for opting to stand, while Megan Rapinoe and her teammates took a knee protesting the U.S. at the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. I've said a prereq for playing on this team should be loving your country unapologetically. At the time, it was trendy to get on one knee and declare a humanitarian cause. After doing so several times, Lloyd took a night off and left-wingers went nuts. Carli Lloyd defended her position during an interview on CBS's Kicking It. And I don't know what kind of a podcast this was, but these women were not happy that she decided to stand. My goodness, they really felt like they were owed an explanation. I just don't think Carli Lloyd cared much what they wanted in this. Playing her final international matchup, Lloyd wanted to skip the virtue signaling, and despite having knelt with her teammates several times before, the outraged mob was still upset by Lloyd's decision to stand up once. I felt like I'd done it 5 other times. I just wanted to stand for this one. That was it. There was no other thought or anything. I just thought that we had done it enough. Enough of the kneeling. I just wanted to stand for my last world championship. Lloyd spoke up as her U.S. women's national team's priorities shifted from winning to following ex-captain Megan Rapinoe and her progressive platform. I think we've gotten to a point where it's not a certain opinion and then other people can't have other opinions, Carli Lloyd said. It's kind of contradicting itself. In that moment, I just kind of had enough of kneeling before the game because we had done it for a whole year leading up to it. Lloyd especially grilled the U.S. women's national team for celebrating a draw at the 2023 World Cup match this year with a bronze. U.S. women's national team players and team personnel have been defensive towards Lloyd's past criticisms over prioritizing politics over performance. She's spot on. Of course, I did speak the truth, and sometimes the truth hurts, but it came from the heart. The world has caught up. I get that, but there's no reason why we still can't be on top. So we come over here to the rest of this interview, and this is where she cooks Rapinoe and just says Rapinoe was a distraction to that Olympic squad and what it was she was doing. That sentiment reflects that Lloyd felt after Megan Rapinoe initially kneeled for the anthem in 2016, shortly after NFL quarterback Colin Kaepernick became the first to do so, Lloyd described Rapinoe's choice as a distraction to the U.S. women's national team and said she acted as an intermediary at times while serving as team captain. Quote, at the time, obviously, there wasn't a lot of other people that were doing that besides Kaepernick and Rapinoe. Decided to do that, and I had conversations with Megan, she said. Quote, this isn't a personal thing. What she is doing, it was distracting to our team. It was distracting to other players to play, and I was a captain at the time as well, so I said to her, it's not to dampen what you're trying to achieve. It became that everything was focused on Megan kneeling, and nobody was talking about the reasoning why is what I was trying to get at. We were all just getting tired of what we're just talking about, her kneeling on the sideline. Wow. The Kicking It host had a chance to respond to Lloyd's version of the events during the episode with Edu, describing how her choice to not kneel left him disappointed in the moment. When I saw it happen in the moment, because I know what kind of impact you carry, what kind of following you have, I felt it dampened the situation, or it was kind of like a slight in a way, which I know was not your intention, he said. I know where you stand on a few different issues, but just in that moment, I remember watching it and thinking, quote, the hell. Lloyd said she respected Edu's comments before the interview wrapped, though. Once she left, the host debriefed after a lengthy interview. They focused on Lloyd's impact to not kneel, and then they go on to try to throw conservative media under the bus. Almost felt like it empowered this group that felt like, yeah, we don't take a knee because we don't support that cause. Well, you're kneeling for the total and complete lie of police brutality towards blacks. And yeah, that is a lie. It's a statistical lie. So, yeah, you're right. We don't support that. And we also don't support disrespecting the country for any reason. You just don't. That's not how anybody was raised. If you want to protest, find another route. Find another way to do it. But don't disrespect our country, law enforcement, military, first responders, all those people for any cause. That's just not how it's done. And I think it was a poor way to protest, and I'm going to tell you why. You lost half of America automatically. Automatically. I don't care what your cause is. You're disrespecting our country. You go to a ball game, you take your cap off, you put your hand over your heart, you face the flag, and you sing the national anthem. That's how we were raised. Not going to change. Sorry, not sorry. That's all there is to it. And Carli Lloyd just said it. And we've talked about Megan Rapinoe being a grifter before, and her grifting will not end, I assure you. It will not end. Just because she is retiring, and she's still not gone yet, because I think her team made the playoffs or something. Trust me, I'm not paying attention. I saw it in a passing headline. But, you're there to play soccer for Team USA, but you're distracting the players with some kind of a political stance that disrespects the team you're supposed to be playing on behalf of the country of. Of course it's a distraction. And Carli Lloyd, Megan Rapinoe were the two biggest names on the team. I mean, Megan Rapinoe was using her virtue signaling power and the fact that the media loves her to death to pressure those players to do something they didn't want to do. It's appalling. I mean, the moment you did that, you should have been he-hoved right off the team. Booted off. Unapologetically. Initially, they released a statement saying they weren't going to allow that, and then all of a sudden there was this backlash. and the U.S. women or the U.S. Soccer Federation came out and was like, "Oh, our bad." Way to cave. Crying out loud. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.